Food is such a staple in everything, you know. It's what brings people together, what keeps people alive, being able to share all that knowledge, and it's a beautiful thing. The Marrung Scholarship is essentially a $5,000 grant that supports you throughout year 11 and 12 in any pathway that you choose to pursue. Just a little financial support to help you get that head start and get those materials that you need. So I'm doing an apprenticeship as a chef at the European restaurant and a Cert 3 in commercial cookery. So I'd love to be a chef and very passionate about it, enjoying it lots. Receiving the Marrung Scholarship allowed me to very early on invest into all the professional equipment that I needed, such as my uniforms, my knives, other tools, funds for courses, things like that. So just getting that initial everything started really helped out a lot. For me, it's opened up a whole new world, being able to invest into my craft and my career, and getting all those, the right equipment, the right support, things like that makes a real big difference. I feel like me doing this and showing the younger generations that they can do things like these and there are opportunities like these, that's a good step, and hopefully do some more work in the future. My head chef Kyle, lovely man, very experienced, done lots of work in Michelin star restaurants in London, all over the place. He's taught me so much, brought me up from the bottom, so very thankful for him. You just become a family in the kitchen, and that sense of the pressure and adrenaline during service and even prep, it's a very acquired taste, I think, but for those who love it, it's the best thing, so I love it very much, yeah. Michelin star is definitely on my radar. To be the first indigenous man to hold one, that is very much a lifelong dream. It's such a high achievement and recognition of all your work. So to be the first of my people would be a huge accomplishment.